Hey friend, are you tired of setting up each new mix project from scratch? Imagine having a mix template that saves you hours and can boost your productivity. Today, we're gonna do just that. We're gonna create a mix template together. This is gonna be by far one of the most comprehensive videos I have posted on YouTube. And if you hang to the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you how you can grab a copy of my personal mix template. This is the template that I use day in and day out, one that has been responsible for mixing thousands of hours of sonic content for both television and film. I am so glad you're here. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So friends, we're just gonna go here. Again, like I said, it's gonna be a longer video, but we're gonna do this together. So it's not gonna be perfect. I'm sure I'll make a mistake here or there, but hang with me. By the end of this video, you're gonna be able to build your own templates and make them customizable. So I have a new session here in Pro Tools, you'll see, and I just went ahead and named it DX-MX-FX 2.0. Mix template. And really with that, for those who don't know, DX is a shorthand for dialogue, MX is music, FX are effects, and the 2.0 refers to stereo mix template as opposed to 5.1. I figure we're gonna start with the basics so that everything you learn here, everything we walk through is going to be transferable to a 5.1 template. Okay, so once you kind of name it whatever you want, I have a location. We're going to go like this. We're just going to go in here, coaching. I have a folder there. All right, we're going to save it there. And we're going to basically, by hitting create, it's going to give us a blank slate, okay? So the world is our oyster here, right? Is that the term? We have nothing. It is literally blank. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to up here in the I/O, the setup here. The I/O, for those who don't know, the input output. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to get rid of all. You'll see this right here. If you go to bus up here, bus has a bunch of other buses that I've had. I'm just going to wipe these out. I'm going to hit delete. Let's delete that one too. Okay. So that's pretty much, you may have something that says like bus 1 through 2, you know, bus 3, 4, and so on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create some buses so that it makes it easier for us when we start laying out our tracks. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to create stereo buses. Okay, it's going to be stereo buses. I'm going to have a dialogue bus. I'm going to have a music bus. I'm going to have an effects bus. I'm going to have some reverbs. Okay, so reverbs buses. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just creating, let's see, what was that? Dialogue, music, effects, Newburn. Let's go with 4 so we can just get started here, okay? 4 stereo buses, and you can name them here, but I'm just going to hit create so that you see the generic layout here. Buses 1 through 2, 3 through 4, and so on. So here I'm going to go ahead and hit enter dialogue bus. Oops, what did I do? Oh, sorry about that. And effects, let's go music. MX bus and FX bus, and then right here we're gonna go reverb. So we're gonna do dialogue reverb. So DX verb, just to keep it short. Okay, now we have to start adding more. So we're gonna add more. We're gonna go music. Oops, I made a mistake. See that? I hit N. I told you there's gonna be some mistakes here. We're gonna go 2 more stereo buses. We're going to go music. I cannot type today. Music verb. And then next is going to be effects verb. Okay. And we'll hit enter. So you'll see we have the dialogue bus, the music bus, the effects bus, the dialogue bus. Dialogue verb bus, and the music verb and the effects verb. And as we go through our template here, we're probably gonna add some stems. We'll do that maybe at the end. But one thing I want to not forget is Foley. So sometimes, let's go like this. Let's go, I forgot backgrounds. So let's do this. We're gonna go like this. hit new, and I'm just creating a new one. Short key for those who don't know, I'm going to hit Shift Command End, gets me a new one. So I can't believe I forgot Foley. So Foley's just going to be like this, Foley, Foley bus, and I like to, can I move that? I can move it. I'm going to go like that. I'm going to create another one, and I'm going to create my BGs, my backgrounds. BG bus, hit OK. And there we go. I could go like effects BG. So there we go. I like to have an order: dialogue, music, effects, BGs, Foley, and then we have verb right there. Okay. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Yes, we'll hit OK. And now here I'm with my blank slate again. So I'm going to go ahead and start by creating some blank tracks. And you can go here and create under File and hit Tracks New. So you can go like that right there. See, and you can enter whatever you need to enter there, or like I like to use the shortcuts, the keystrokes here, Shift Command N to get my menu for new tracks there. And so let's start with dialogue. Okay, we're just gonna, again, this is gonna be bare bones. Of course, you can add way more tracks you need, or way more verbs as you need, but this is just to get you off the ground and running. So I'm going to start by just getting 12 tracks of mono dialogue for I'm thinking in 5:1. Let's just, well, we could do mono stereo, but mono audio tracks. And as you see here, this is where you can go and pick what type of track you want. And this is also, if you want a folder or an aux input, a master fader, or VCA. So we're going to have that on audio tracks. Samples is fine. And then what you can do is you can name it DX, right? And hit OK. And DX stands for dialogue. And so you'll see right here we have now DX 1 through 12. Okay. So those are 12 tracks of mono dialogue. And what I like to do is I like to color code these things. So if you have them all highlighted, and so if you don't have them highlighted, you just want to highlight one, you can hit the Control Shift, if you hold Shift down and start clicking, you can one by one, take them down, or really Option, is it Option? No, it's a Command click. Gets you to do individual ones. You can go, skip, but I want them all highlighted. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all of them, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to double click. I like to double click here on the side, and I'm going to color code these blue. No, this kind of blue. Wait, no, that kind of blue. There we go. Color code them blue. Okay, so now I have 12 tracks of dialogue. Now those dialogue tracks need to go somewhere, so I'm going to hit my Shift Command N, and now I'm going to call up a stereo aux track. Okay, that aux track is going to be my dialogue bus. Okay, or rather, let's do dialogue. Let's think about this real quickly. We're going to do this together here. We're going to call it our chain, our dialogue chain. Okay, dialogue chain here. Okay. All these tracks are going to feed here to this chain, and then the chain is going to go to the bus. Let's just create, oops, what am I doing? I'm going to create a bus, okay? Another aux, and we're going to call this dialogue bus, okay? So these two are auxes, and I like to keep my auxes green for some reason. I just like it. Okay, green. There we go. So now we're not going to do any routing right now. We'll do the routing. No, we'll do the routing right now. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to go Command and equals. That gets me to my mix here. And you'll see we have 1 through 12, our chain. And actually, oops, the chain should be a mono. So we're going to delete that, okay? Let's go like this and delete. Okay, we're going to go mono. Mono aux. There we go. All right, and we'll call that dialogue chain. Okay. And make that green, right? We'll make it the same green as we did. Yeah, green. Boom. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Now this dialog bus, you'll see these kind of they automatically went into the dialog bus here. These tracks are going to go into the chain, okay? And that's one thing I did not do. I did not create a chain. So I'm going to go back to I/O, and I'm going to go ahead and hit new path. I'm going to go mono, and I hit OK, and I'm going to call this DX chain. Hit OK. And now I'm going to go to the dialog chain here, and I'm going to, on the input here, I'm going to go to the bus and hit chain. And now I'm going to have the output of this go to the dialog bus, okay? So that dialog bus now, right here on this side, is going to receive that. So I'm going to go to bus, dialog bus, and now this, right, is going to have to go somewhere. Where's it going to go? Well, it's going to go to our stems. If we're within the box, everything's going to be inside, you know, either our laptop or desktop, and we're not sending signal to an external rig, another Pro Tools system, then it's going to have to be in the box. And so we're going to go back to our trusty I/O here, and we're going to add. This is kind of a little bit out of place here, or rather out of order. But we're going to go ahead and hit stereo, and we're going to hit, or rather correction. Yeah, no, that's good. A bus. We're going to call this dialog stem. Okay. And hit OK. Okay. Because this bus right here is now going to go to the stem. We're going to go bus to dialog stem. And we'll create the stem later with all the stems. Now that signal is going from all these signals, the dialog 1 through 12, we're going to go to this chain, and we'll set this up so you see, you know, what kind of plugins are in here. That's going to go to the bus, and then this bus is going to go to the stem of this recorder internally. We're going to record the dialog with no plugins, nothing like that, just the pure signal from our dialog. Okay, so what else do we need here? We need some reverb. Okay, so let's go ahead and create another bus here, stereo aux. Okay, and we're going to call it DX verb. Okay, and let's get that cool color in there again. All right, and so we already preset that up, right? So we're going to go to dialog verb, and on the input here, we're going to go to our DX verb, okay? Now, the output of the dialog verb is going to have to go to the bus. That's where we want it. So we want this return, this dialog verb return. We're going to call this up on sends here in our dialog 1 through 12. Okay, and we're going to monitor, or rather adjust how much reverb goes to each track of dialog through these sends here. So we'll set those up, and that signal is going to be controlled here, rather controlled on the sends, but the return is going to be sent to the bus. Okay, so again, we have that dialog bus. Rather, the dialog verb is in the input. The output's going to go to the dialog bus. And that bus is obviously going to go to our stem. Okay, so we have our verb there. Now let's go ahead and set up the sends. So we're going to go like this. We're going to send dialog, and 1 through 12 is going to go to the dialog verb, the DX verb. So there we go. So see, here's the send now, and this is where we're going to be able to control how much of the signal goes to the affected verb signal. Okay, so this is how much. We want one more verb. We're going to raise that. But one of the ways to kind of quickly do it is, let's see if I remember this, but if I highlight all of them and hit Shift Option, and then I go over here while they're held down and click dialog verb, that should, yeah, there we go. That populates all the sends here. So now each dialog track has a send for the verb, so that we can easily do that quickly. It sure does beat. Oh, look at that. And I messed up because I put it on there. So we don't want those there. We're going to go like this. I messed up. They're supposed to be here up on send 8. Now, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can have it there, but you know, we'll go ahead and we'll just remove those. Actually, can I do it like that? If I just did it like that, let's go to no send. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let's go up here to send A, because I like to stay in order. Dialog verb. There we go. And since I don't really use a lot of, other sends F through J, you can simply go to View, and let's go ahead and turn off the let's go to the mix window. These sends right here, sends F through J, we don't need to see. If we unclick it, they go away. And now everything's here, they're not hiding. If I scroll, it's all within the window. Okay, thanks for hanging with me. Here we go. Let's continue on. Let's just focus on finishing the dialogue first. Very simple again. What we want to do is let's just set up some generic EQs. Let's just put some EQ on there, right? And so what I want to do is each dialogue channel I have, I really go really easy. And you could put, a 7-band EQ here, right? And engage a high pass, low pass filter there. And then go, I am a personal fan here, and I will tell you, this is what I'm a fan of right here. I'm a fan of the Fab Filter Pro Q, and I have a default setting that I always have, which is a baseline automation to kind of get started. But I love this EQ. It's one of my favorites, but not, of course, this costs money. Not everybody. I think this one was like $170, something like that, 168, 69. Now, if you don't have something like that, using the generic EQ3 7-band is totally fine. Very simple, very great to use. And we can populate those all. Let's go ahead and do that right now. To quickly populate it, Shift Option, okay? Shift Option on the first track, dialogue 1, while I'm holding that, and I go to my EQ7, and now it will populate all of them, okay? So now we have those. And really, I keep it simple with just the EQ, okay? And now that you know how to do this, because I just like seeing it this way, I'm going to go ahead and put my Pro Q. Yes, see, I'm wiping it out because it has like a baseline automation. It's saying, do you want, this is going to change one or more inserts. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I do want to do that, okay? And so now all of them are there. Okay, now let's go over here to our chain. Now let's talk really quickly, just very simple. We're not going to get too much into it, but as far as the dialogue chain goes, basically what we want to do here is I want to go ahead and not do too much processing of the actual tracks themselves, the dialogue tracks. And in the chain, this is what I'm going to do. Basically, this is where I will put my compressor or limiter, a de-esser, and then I'll finish it off with an EQ there. But if we go to the chain here, let's just show you what I would do is I would put my dynamics. You could put the let's just go like this. Where's the mono one? Here, like that one. Here's the generic. There we go. Generic compressor limiter. You could use that. I'm a huge fan of, well, I'll show you that in a second, but I'm a huge fan of the Pro. Let's just show you real fast. The Pro compressor there. This is what I like. I like the Pro stuff. It's not bad. And then after that, the next slot I'm going to put is my de-esser. And for the sake of the video, because I don't think everybody has it, we'll just keep it simple. And we'll go back to the, where is it at? There we go. It's just a generic compressor limiter there. And then I'm going to put the de-esser there. Okay, so we'll just go with, here we go, dynamics, okay. De-esser, we'll go with the generic de-esser as well. We'll talk about settings in a second. And then I could go ahead and put the EQ 7, sure, whatever you choose, whatever you like, okay. Moving on to our reverb. Reverb, I'm going to go ahead and put, you can put whatever reverb you like. I'm a fan of, believe it or not, let's go to reverb, revibe rather. Revibe is something I think it comes with all the Pro Tools Pro, or rather the I can't think, Ultimate, right? Pro Tools Ultimate. I think it's included, but you can use again whatever you want, whatever you have. I mean, I have some Phoenix Verb, which I'm a real big fan of too. There's a lot of stuff. There's cinematic rooms. Whatever you want to put there, you can put there. Okay, so for the sake of this, I'm just gonna go ahead and put Reverb 2, or rather Revibe 2, and then you could hit it with an EQ as well. I'm just option dragging this here. Okay, and then the dialog bus is going to be the same thing. Dialog bus is, now this is the last part where everything's going to be affected, right? And so I really do like to put my limiter there. It's very simple. I'll go ahead and put a limiter. I'll go with the Pro here, Pro limiter, and then, oops, I put the wrong one. We're going to go like this, multi-channel, and we'll go to dynamic, Pro limiter. There we go. Okay, Pro limiter, and then I'll put like my EQ there. And just to change it up here, I'll put my Pro Q3. Okay. All right. So that's very generic, very simple. You can obviously, anybody who's watching this, no hating, please, because you can do whatever you want. You could go deep. You could put whatever plugins and whatever settings you want there. Now, just to kind of test, right? To test our signal, I'm going to go ahead and put a test signal here. Signal generator. Here we go. Let's see if it pops up right away. Okay, there. And you'll see I am passing signal there. Okay, so what I like to do is, you could put on peak noise if you want to. I could see that this is hitting the bus. Now it's not hitting my chain, so that means something's going on. And right away, can you tell what it is? Right? It's my routing. My bus is not hitting my chain. It's going right now directly to the bus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and highlight 1 through 12, and I'm going to hold my shift option, and I'm going to change that to the dialog chain right here. There we go. So now it's hitting my chain, it's getting processed, and then also hitting the bus where it needs to be. And we could also test here. So if I bring up the send, the dialog verb, I'll go ahead and add some reverb, and you'll see that now it is hitting the reverb there. Okay, I'll just go like this. See, and it affects, obviously it impacts what the signal in the bus, you see. Okay, and so we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. So now if we go back here to our edit window here, I'm feeling pretty good about that. We got a pretty simple setup there, nothing fancy. We can get really, really, really deep, but we're just going to keep it simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring up a memory locator, and I'm going to just group. I'm going to highlight all of them. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to call this dialog. I'm going to hit a new memory location. This is just for organization. And I like to keep the tracks together and their height. So I'm going to go click track visibility and track height and hit none as far as markers go. Hit OK. So now if I recall just this specific number of tracks, they come up. Okay. All right. So moving on. Now what I want to do is I want to add some tracks for music. So with my, as I highlight here with the last track highlighted, I'm going to hit my shortcut here, my Shift Command N, and I'm going to create, obviously music can get very, very wide, but I'm just going to create maybe 12 tracks. Let's just go 12 tracks of stereo music tracks, audio tracks, okay? And we're going to go shorthand MX, okay? Hit OK, and that should be MX1 through 12. And now I'm going to change the color. Gosh, what should we do? Let's do this cool purple, maybe. Why not? So we have music. So we're going to do the same thing we did over here with our dialog. Now we're going to go ahead and let's get rid of the memory location there. We're gonna basically work this out. We're gonna bust it all out. Okay, so we have the tracks of music, and if we want, what we could do is let's just focus on the music. So I'm gonna go ahead and create another memory locate so that we can just focus on that. I'm gonna hide the dialog tracks 1 through 12 and the chain and the verb and the bus. I'm gonna hide those. Okay, and I'm just gonna click hide. Great. And now I'm going to highlight these tracks, and I'm going to group, rather I'm going to put these in, hit enter with my memory locate on here and call this MX, so music. I'm going to make sure in my properties here that there's none, and I'm going to have the track visibility, track height, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, now look at this. Now right here with my memory locations box, up, I can go 1 and I get the dialogue, and 2 and now I'm in music. Okay, this is just gonna, I'm a visual guy. I need to keep it simple. Okay, so now let's build this out like we did with the dialogue. So now I'm gonna go ahead and create a stereo bus and a stereo verb. So we'll do 2. Okay, so we'll call this MX verb and MX bus. Okay, and again, if you recall, I like the colors to be green, so I know all my greens are like my buses. And let's start with our routing. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we don't really need to have inserts right now, so I'm just going to clear these so we can make it simple. We can make it easy. There we go. So that's probably what you'll have. Now let's make sure our music bus is actually assigned not to the dialogue bus, but to the actual music bus. So the music bus is going to go, let's go like this, music bus, MX bus. And then this, the bus, is going to go to our stem. So we do have to create that. If we go back to setup and IO, let's go ahead and create a music, create new path, stereo, a music stem. Okay, there we go. Hit OK. Obviously, you can create them all at the same time. I'm just doing as needed here. So now this mix bus, right, and music bus, and we can even put it down here. You go like this, music bus. Okay. This is going to go, the output of this is going to go to the music stem. Okay. Now the verb, if you recall, what we're going to do here, right, is we want this verb, the input is going to be the MX verb, which is there, and the output of the verb is going to go to our bus. That's going to feed our MX bus. There we go. And now our actual tracks, right? Our stereo music tracks. These are not going to, right now they defaulted to dialog bus. No, we want to shift option click, and you don't have to hold it down. Actually, as long as you shift option click, you can let go of your left hand. And now we want this to go to the music bus. Okay, so now all these tracks are feeding this bus, and you can again test by going here, getting others, again putting a signal generator. Oh, something's wrong. I love this. I love when things are wrong, because we need to figure that out. Okay, so MX bus. So let's go MX bus. There's the MX bus. Now why is it not getting there? Well, that's a really good question. Oh, I know. I see it right away. You know why? Because guess what? We created an audio track as opposed to an aux. Okay? So this is a very common thing. It happens to me all the time, right? I'm glad it happened here so that if it does happen to you, you know what to do. So what we need to do is we need to delete this music bus. Or well, correction. Let's create the bus now. So let's go stereo aux. That's what we want. A stereo aux, not an audio. Okay, I might have said aux when I did it, but you saw me doing it. You're like, wait a second, I messed up. So I'm glad we're doing this together. So we'll call this MX bus, and if it's gonna put like a 1 on it, right? Yeah, see, because it's already named that. So now we want to do the same thing. We want to go and have this bus actually be MX bus, and this is going to go to bus stem, MX stem. Okay, and now we can get rid of this, delete that. There we go. And now I'm going to just get rid of the 1. There we go. And if I go over here to my signal generator and engage it, you'll see now we have proper routing. That this, now anything that comes from MX1 is going to go to MX bus. Let's just bing, go like that. We'll inactivate that. All right, so that is that. And now this is where we can go ahead and put some of our plugins. We can go ahead, if we want to, we can populate. Just for the sake of doing it different, friend, I'm going to go ahead and populate this with channel strip. Okay, look at the EQ. So, you know, again, this could be whatever EQ of your choice. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to put, I don't do a ton of stuff, to music tracks, especially with when they're coming from a composer. Usually they'll have a scoring mixer, and I do not touch their stuff unless they really, the director wants me to do that. Usually we'll have a music editor on the stage, and they will handle any kind of fixes like that, but I generally don't need to. The only time I really use a lot of EQ is if we have a source track and we want to manipulate like the feeling of the source track. Like maybe it's coming from the other side of a wall, where we'll put a lot of EQ, roll off the high end, sounds like it's thumpy, muffled, or it's very distant, coming from a car or something like that. So, okay, so we have EQs there. Now our verb, we're going to go ahead and put our let's go multi-channel plugin, go to verb, and we'll just put, you could do any one of these, but we'll go, we'll do the revibe again since we did that for the other one. Although I will say for music reverbs, the Phoenix is fantastic. Cinematic Rooms is kind of a go-to these days too as well. So a lot of really good reverbs out there. So again, your choice, whatever you feel and experiment with. So reverb is there. And then with my bus, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and put my my limiter there, Pro limiter. And then I'm going to go ahead and put one final EQ there. And I'll go ahead and put a Fab Filter Pro Q3. And so now this is just, again, very basic. Okay, you could mess with the settings and do what you want. For most stuff, things I'm going to be limiting. If a lot of the TV content stuff, I have a -6 on my threshold and my ceiling, so that oops, not that, -6, so that I know I'm hitting a brick wall. I know that I'm going to meet my LKFS or my settings, or rather my audio requirements for basically whatever network. So you can experiment with that. You can do whatever you want. If I'm working on a film, theatrical, I do not want it to I just want to point 0.1 like that, here on -0.1, just barely, so it doesn't clip. You know what I'm saying? You want the full frequency, full range, but that we can talk about another time. So there we go. So we have our signal. Now we need to have a reverb send set up. So again, I have my tracks highlighted already. If I didn't, I could just highlight all my tracks, and I'm going to do my shift option, and we are going to go to have selected our MX verb. There we go. So now we have a reverb there, and we can test that out again by putting on our signal generator to see if that send works, and we'll see. Oh, look it again. I love that this is happening. This is real-time troubleshooting, so we can take a look. Let's see what we did. We did the same thing, friend. We did the same thing with the music verb. Okay, so again, I'm so glad we're doing this together, because I'm sorry, I don't want to waste your time, but at the same time, this is how mistakes happen. Okay, and I'm glad that we can do this together, because if it happens to me, it's going to happen to you at some point. So let's go ahead and create our stereo aux. That's what we want, not an audio. We want an aux. We'll call it MX verb. We'll hit OK. And now I want to make sure that this input is on MX verb, output is MX bus. Oops, MX bus. I'm gonna go ahead and just option click and drag over my revibe 2, and I think that's good. So we'll go ahead and delete this. Okay, let's delete that, and we'll rename this. There we go. And then in here in the comments, I could put music verb. Okay, and let's change that color, since I just saw that now, to our greens. There we go. All right, and the cool thing about the colors too is they come up, especially if you're on a Avid S6 console, it will populate, the LEDs will change that color too, so it's pretty cool. Okay, so now let's test. Let's go ahead and bring our signal back. We'll take it out of bypass. We'll go to our send here. We'll bring it up, and there it is. Sure enough, there is our verb signal that is also being sent to our bus. So we like that. Now we know that is good. So that's a really great way to check your signal flow, your routing, okay, to make sure it's getting everywhere, okay? And, ideally, you'd want to do it to every single track here, but because we did set it up together, we know that they're all going to the same place. Okay, so that is our music bus. And of course, again, guys, this is very just down and dirty, very simple. We're going to go ahead and make sure that these tracks are added to our memory location here. And what I mean is, if I go, check this out, if I go to my dialogue and I go back to my music, guess what? I'm missing these tracks because I didn't add them. So I have to make sure that they're highlighted from the track section over here, and then just over here in the memory locations and this little Dropbox menu right here, if you go to edit MX and just hit OK, because look, we still want to make sure there's no markers. We like the name still. It's number 2 on our quick numbers there, and our track visibility and highlights, or rather height, is connected. We're gonna hit OK. All right, there we go. So we got that. So now if I go from DX to MX, everything is highlighted. Okay, great. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to everything sound effects wise, okay? Now, of course, this is very simple. Again, if you were working on a much bigger film or much bigger project that needed ADR, that needed group, you would go ahead and just add those to that, okay? And as we get toward the end of this video, we'll talk a little bit more how we can, you guys can get a copy of my template to check that out, get you kind of, off the ground started. And that's going to be a 5.1 template for those who are interested. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else we can do. Now we're going to move on to effects, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and create, I'm just going to hide these, okay? So I can start fresh here, hide, and I'm going to go ahead and add, let's go with a couple different food groups of effects. I'm going to go ahead with, we're going to go with effects, friend, because usually effects you have a lot more, right? I always like to have mono effects, and I always like to have stereo effects. And usually I do it in food groups. So food group, FX A, FX B, FX C, and because I work on large scale content, I can have food groups from FX A all the way to like FGH, okay? So we're talking lots of tracks. But for today's experiment and walkthrough, we're gonna go ahead and hit 8 mono and 8 stereo tracks as our first food group, okay? And we're gonna call this effects, and the same thing right here. We're gonna go effects stereo, okay? So FX ST, that's what I'm gonna just call them to differentiate them, okay? So if I hit OK, you'll see effects 1 through 8, and then there's the mono, and then effects 1 through 8 stereo, okay? Now for some reason, with color, I just like effects always being red. That's just my color. You could do yellow, green, blue, it does not matter. Okay, so we have our effects, effects 1 through 8 for mono and 1 through 8 stereo. We're going to go ahead and set up the verb and the bus, okay? So, well, before that, let's be smart about this, because I do want to show you an example with 2 sets of effects. We're going to call this A effects, okay? So I could just start by going A and renaming this, right? And go A. I'm going to copy that and just go over here. Now this is going to take some time, right? You just paste that and you can keep going that. Or you can just simply start all over, right? We go like this, delete, and this is good practice, right? So we're going to go Shift Command N, and we're going to go 8 and 8 stereo, and then we're going to go like this. And the first one we're going to go A effects, and then A effects stereo, ST, okay? Hit OK. Now it should populate us A effects 1 through 8, A effects 1 through 8 stereo, okay? We'll do the same thing here and make them red. Oops. All right, there we go. Okay, so now, that's so funny. I don't know if you can hear my kids. My kids are in the background. I love it. Hey, this is real life. I got 4 kids, right? I'm doing this in the garage office here. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our bus. Okay, we're going to go stereo aux, and we learned last time, do not create audio tracks, we need auxes, okay? So we need a stereo aux for our verb and a stereo aux for our bus. We'll go ahead and name this effects verb and then effects bus, okay? We'll hit create. Again, I like these green, so I'm going to make them green. And let's go to our window here. And if we go over here, I like this view. We're going to go ahead and do the same setup here. So we know, let's start it differently. Let's go from our effects. We're effects 1 through 8, mono and stereo. We're going to go ahead and send, again, you see these mic in, like it's just defaulting. We don't need that like that. So yours might say something like this. It might say like no input, like that, okay? And that's what you want. You're okay with that. So our output, or rather our bus out, we're going to go ahead and send them to the effects bus, okay? So now these should all go to this bus here, and in the bus we're going to receive it, okay? We're going to have this, and the input's going to be effects bus, and the output is going to be effects stem, which we do not have yet, so we need to go and create it. So back up here in our setup, IO, click that. We're going to go down here. We're going to hit new. We're going to create that stereo, and we're going to call this effects stem. Hit OK. All right, and now this bus is going to feed that stem. Okay, so effects stem there. The reverb here, the effects verb, the input must be on the bus. It needs to be effects bus, and of course this effects verb is going to be feeding our effects bus. There we go. So again, it might be simple for some, but for those of us who have not really done a lot of experience with creating templates, some of this stuff is very, very, very important, okay? Just to kind of see. So again, effects A through 8, or rather A1 through 8 here, and stereo 1 through 8. Okay, this is just a food group. This is the A effects, okay? These are all going to this bus there. Okay, so let's go ahead and test, okay? Or rather, let's go ahead and put our plugins here. So we want to go ahead and put just some EQ on our tracks, and so I'm going to shift option again, click, and hit my plugin. And again, let's go ahead and put our Fab Filter Pro Q, because I like that. Go check them out if you haven't. I'm not endorsed by them at all, but I just love them. And then over here by the verb, I'm going to go ahead and put with this, I'm just going to put let's go like this, a little limiter. There we go. Oh, and I did the wrong one. Sorry, guys. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Multi-channel, dynamic. We're going to go with, I can't read. There we go. And you could do whatever you want. You can put compressor here. Oh, this is my verb. Correction. This is what we're going to do. My verb, we're just going to put our EQ. Okay. There you go. And then over here, for my bus, this is where I'm going to put my limiter. So multi-channel plugin and dynamics, and we're going to put our pro limiter there. And if I'm working again on a TV thing, I'm probably going to go to -6. Oops, I did that again, -6. I think I hit it twice. And a -6. Okay, films, you're not going to want that much at all. You want to barely just kiss it so it doesn't clip. And then I'll put an EQ here too if I need that. Okay, here we go. All right, again, very simple, folks. Very, very simple. Let's go ahead and send signal so we can test. Let's go here, other. We're going to go signal generator. And it is hitting, oh, check that out. Look at, we didn't fix something. Look at, it's going to both places. We did not fix something. So we need to make sure that it's because it's on both, it's going to both places. So our effects verb our input needs to be our verb. So it needs to go to effects. Where'd it go? Effects verb, there we go. And that's gonna go to the bus. Now that we got the verb set there, we make sure that the verb is going to the bus. Let's go ahead and test our send here. First of all, we need to put sends there. So again, I have my tracks highlighted, and you've done this before, so you're a pro already. Again, if you don't have them all highlighted, 1 through 8 for both mono stereo, highlight them. and then the shift option, click the send, go to bus. We want our FX verb. Now we're populating all of our sends there and the A slot with the verb. We'll go ahead and test. Here we go. The signal generator, I just bypassed that. You see that? I could just bypass it, but I went ahead and clicked click on it with command, and that I don't have to have that window open. You see there? Okay, so verb, let's go ahead and send some signal, and we'll see that that's what we like to see. We like to see that it is hitting the return there, and also you'll see the signal increase in the bus because it is doing what it is needing to do properly by getting reverb on there and also going over there. Okay, most important thing, which I just seen that you probably were like, what Joel, you messed up big time here, right? Is I didn't put on the insert, I didn't put reverb. I didn't put reverb. So let's go ahead and put on our, look, you could do reverb 1 if you want this time, okay? You do whatever you want, okay? And so now if we go to our signal there, and we'll see, there we go. That is working for sure, okay? So that was a big mistake there. But again, I'm glad we're doing this together, my friend. We're learning together, which is great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit, we don't want that insert anymore. All right, so as far as effects go, this is the first food group. Now, again, for the sake of time, you do not have to do food groups A and B or C or anything like that. You can keep, you know, if you want, you could just do like 16 tracks, 16 monos and 16 stereos if you'd like. You know, and for the sake of timing, maybe that's what maybe we'll just leave it like this for now. But again, templates are very adaptable. You can change one for every project you work on. But again, the whole purpose for templates is to make things go quicker for you every time you start a new project. So you're not starting from scratch. So again, you can go ahead. We'll just keep this for this example, as this was the first food group, and then, you know, if you had the food group for B, like effects B, you know, effects A, B, and C, you'd probably want to separate them by calling this AFX bus, and then you would have another one that would be, let's go 2 stereo aux. The other one would be BFX bus, and we'll just do it here since we're together, and then CFX bus, okay, and we'll go like this, okay. Oh, not the same green. There we go. And so basically, you would have a whole nother set of 8 mono and 8 stereo, and you would call it BFX, you know, 1 through 8, BFX ST for stereo 1 through 8, and those would feed these respective buses, the B bus and the C bus, and then that would go ahead and feed the effects bus. And I mean, we're here, we might as well do it, right? You're like, well, what does that look like? Let's just do it. IO, let's add that right now. We're gonna go ahead and call effects bus. Let's go ahead, effects bus. We're gonna call this a effects bus, okay? We're making a little audible here. And now we're gonna go new path. We'll go to new path, stereo, and we're gonna go, we'll just hit OK so that I can go like this, watch. So I can go B effects bus. Oops, what happened there? There you go, capital F. And C effects bus, okay. There we go, okay. We're gonna hit OK. And now, after you've created your associated tracks here on the B effects bus, you would have the input be the BFX bus, and this is all going to feed the same effects bus, okay? Effects bus there, and then the CFX are going to be CFX, and for the input, and the output's going to go to the effects bus, okay? Oops, not stem, FX. Why can't I see it? I'm blind right now, friend. FX bus. Oh, I know why, because I changed it. So check this out. These are going to the stems. So we want these to go to the stems, not to the effect. These are going to be the associated buses, and this is all going to go to the stem. So this is my correction. Effects stem. They're all going to feed the same stem, okay? Okay, because if you wanted to, what you could do is you could have all 3 buses feed one master bus, and that goes to the stems, but really it's like redundant, right? So effects bus is going to go to the stem, to the stem, to the stem. Okay, that is totally fine. And what is this? A effects. And that you would then, of course, want to, you could use the same verb for the B effects and the C effects, or you can separate them out if you want, okay? So that's how you do that. We won't build the other ones, but let's go ahead and go back here. And I'm going to go ahead and create an effects memory locate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, option, and click fit window. Oops, wrong one. Fit window. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new marker, or rather memory locate. I'm going to call this effects. No marker, none, and track visibility highlight, hit OK. So now I can go dialog, music, and effects. Okay. All right. Now lastly, let's say if you had Foley, right? If you had Foley and you wanted to do that, you would, let's just do that really quickly. We haven't done backgrounds. What are we doing? We got to do backgrounds first before Foley. Okay, so I'm going to clear these. I'm just going to hide these, and I'm going to start fresh. Of course, you can add on to them if you want, but I like to start fresh. So backgrounds, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go, you can have backgrounds A, B, or C. Usually if you're checkerboarding for projects, you definitely want to have at least 3 of them. So you can go A, B, and C for your checkerboard. And what I mean by checkerboard is you're going to have tracks that, a set of tracks will be on the A set of the background, and then it'll be cut on the B side so that you can go back and forth. Okay, so let's go ahead and just really do this really quickly. So 8 mono, 8 stereo. I'm gonna go another 8 mono and another 8 stereo, and then we'll go another 8 mono and another 8 stereo, and this is going to be ABG stereo, and this is going to be BG mono, BG stereo, CBG, and then we'll call this CBG stereo. Okay, now check it out really quickly. Okay, I'm gonna make these that color. Okay, and you'll see now I have A, B, and C. And if you wanted, you could differentiate each shade here. So C could be color-wise maybe these, and then B could be this. Oops, this one, and then the A's are this color. Okay, so let's go to our other window. All right, so we have ABGs, okay, 1 through 8, and then there's stereo, and then B. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create some buses. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and you'll see below this one, that's where I'll create a stereo bus, an aux. That's going to be one for the verb, and the other stereo is going to be for the bus. So we're going to go let's just go BG verb, okay, and then this is going to be a BG bus, okay, because we're going to share the same verb. We'll just need one verb just for the sake. Again, like I said, you can separate that, but we'll go like this. Okay, let's call it green. Let's go green. All right, and now over here, our input for our BG bus is going to go, of course, be. Oh, we didn't make them? We didn't make them yet. Wow, we gotta go make them, guys. We gotta make them. So setup IO. We have BG bus there. Okay, so let's go like this. We're gonna go new, and we're gonna call this a BG bus, and next one's gonna be BG bus. Okay, and then the next one is, I could have done this all together, CBG bus. Okay, and then let's see, A, B, C, and then BG bus. Okay, great. Hit OK. Okay, ABGs. Okay, this is going to be bus A. Where are you at? ABG. They're ABGs, and this is going to go out to the bus, to the BG bus. Okay, and this reverb, since we'll just use, again, you probably want to set it up so A's have their own reverb, the B's have their own reverb, the C's have their own reverb. But for the sake of this timing, again, we're just going to go ahead and just go like this and say BG verb. Did we have a BG verb? I don't think we did. Okay. Let's go ahead and create one real quickly. Setup, and we know how to do that already. New path and stereo, and we're going to go BG verb. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so BG verb. We're going to go on the input here. We're going to go BG verb, and this is going to go to just the BG bus. Okay, to the BG bus. Now, ABGs is going to have to feed the ABG bus and then go to the BG bus. So let's highlight all of our tracks in our first food group of A's here. So A's 1 through 8. Oh, what happened? Did I not? Oh, I didn't create enough. That's what I did. 1 through, I did 8 there, 8, 8. Okay, so I'm missing a couple of tracks here, as you see right there, the stereo. So I'm just going to go ahead and create 6 more stereo, and we're going to call this a BG stereo. And let's see if it renumbers. Yeah, it did it right in front. 3 through 8. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the same color as those. So that's that color. Okay. Boom. Okay, great. So now let's go back here. ABG 1 through 8 mono and ABG stereo 1 through 8 are, I'm going to highlight all of these together. Okay. I'm going to shift option and tell them all to go to bus ABG bus. Okay. And then I can also have the input be no input. See? So now these are all ABG bus. The B's, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. The B's, I'm going to go like this. These are all going to go to BG, BG bus. So there we go. And I'll go like this, no input. And then these are going to go C, okay? These will go to CBG. Where you at, BG? And I'll do the same thing, no input. Great, okay. So we have the B. Let's just test the ABGs, okay? We'll go ahead and put make sure to put our EQ on there. That's what I like to do. So again, shift option, and I'm going to put my plugin. I'm going to put we'll just do EQ3, 7-band. Okay, so now all those have that. I'm going to go to my send, and I'm going to put my bus verb, my BG verb rather. So BG verb, so they all have that now, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and get my test signal, okay, on other, my signal generator. Okay, so let's see where it's going. Is it going to? It's going to the bus. That's where we want it. We told it to go to the ABG bus, right? So now let's see if we have our reverb send. If we add some of that in, it is hitting our reverb the way we want it to, right? That's great, but we didn't put a setting on. So let's make sure to put a setting on here. So we're flying here. So let's go ahead and put a reverb. We'll go revibe stereo, sure. Okay, and we'll go ahead and test that. And now we'll see. Oh, is it not going? What's going on? Bus. Oh, yeah, because it's going to our bus, which we don't have yet. That's why. See, this is why we do this. We got to make sure we do the right things. We got to do the right things. Okay, so let's bypass that. Now we want to make sure we have our bus. So let's create our bus, because we're going to have 3 sets. We have ABGs, BBGs, and CBGs all feeding the same BG bus. Okay, so let's go to stereo, aux, and this is just going to be the BG bus. Hit OK. Okay, we like our green. We know that. We're going to have this input be BG bus, the BG bus, and then this would go to the BG stem, which we have not created. So we'll go IO, and we'll go to new path, stereo, and BG stem. Hit OK. Okay, now let's go back to our master BG bus here and send that out to BG stem. Okay. All right, so now we can go back to test that, because the reverb, what we'll notice is when we put the signal and we call up our send, this is our verb send, you'll notice that in the BG verb, you'll see it, but you're not going to see it in the ABG because it's not going there. We're having the return go of the verb go to the BG bus overall. Okay, so that's why it's making that. So that I'm happy with. We're good there. Okay, and as far as our buses go, we will make sure to have some plugins similar to what we've been doing before. So for that, we're going to go ahead and on our BG bus, we'll make sure that we have our limiter. I'm going to go ahead and put our pro limiter. Again, you can put whatever you want. I'm going to go -6. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put an EQ there. Keep it flat. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. Here, there's the 1K tone. I really hope you're not hearing that, because that would be annoying as all heck. I'm sorry about that. On my BG bus, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and put an EQ. I'll put EQ there. I guess you could limit there too if you want. Yeah, I probably will do that. I'll put a limiter there as well, just in case. You could, put in bypass or whatever. Okay, so we have some plugins there. Again, experiment, do what you like, whatever works for you. Okay, and then you would go ahead and do the same thing with this setup with the B and the C. Okay, and so we won't do that right now for the sake of timing, but those BBGs and CBGs will all be feeding this master bus. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and create this as a, actually let's go like this. Yeah, I have not created one for BGs, so we'll go ahead and go, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit enter and call this BGs, and we'll go in these properties, none, no marker, track visibility, height, hit OK. And now I could be switching for dialogue, music, effects, and BGs. Okay. All right. You would do the same thing for Foley. If you had Foley, you would go ahead and create the tracks, the verb, the aux for the verb, the aux for the bus, and then you would send that all out to, maybe the Foley stem, and the Foley stem would go to a Foley, or rather the Foley bus, and then that bus would go to the Foley stem. Okay. So you see we have quite a bit of tracks now. If we go ahead and let's just show all tracks, we'll see we have our dialogue, our chain, our verb, our bus, our music, that bus, the verb, our effects, okay, and our verbs with that. And, we have space for doing, ABC if we want. We just didn't create them together. Our BGs, we did create mono food groups for A mono, A stereo, B mono, B stereo, C mono, C stereo, excuse me, and our bus is there for at least for the ABGs. And so since I'm just feeling like I should do this because I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and create a bus for the B. It just feels terrible to not see B BGs, okay, and this will be green. And then we'll go CBGs. It's just bugging me here. CBGs. All right. If you're still hanging in there, I want you to hit something in the comments. I'm still here this long into the video, okay? Because you are a rock star. Okay, CBG bus, and we'll go ahead and go like this. And we'll go ahead. Did we create it already? We did not. So, oh yeah, CBG bus. And now this is going to go to BG bus, BG bus, BG bus. There we go. All right. And then our BBG bus. I'm going to go ahead input. It's going to be BBG bus. And the output is going to go to the BG bus. Okay. There we go. and we've already done that, and we'll just test. So we're in C here. So if I went ahead and did my put my plugins, I just couldn't help myself. I have to do it. This feels incomplete. We'll go ahead and put channel strip on there. Just, you know, again, who cares? You know, whatever you want. I do recommend it that it being uniform. Whatever you use, make sure it is uniform. And so since we did channel strip there, we'll do it there too as well. Okay, great. And of course we would make another. Well, let's just go ahead and populate the verb. Man, goodness, I said I wouldn't. I'm doing it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. BG verb. There we go. And since we're using the same verb, that's pretty simple to go ahead and populate. Here we go. And again, I think it has to be on the first one here, friends. When you're cascading, I'm doing the shift option and verb, BG verb. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then it populates. Okay, great. And gosh, because we're gonna go ahead and just copy this over. Boom. Okay, and I'm just hitting option and dragging over because I'm lazy. There we go. And then same thing with this. I'm gonna go like this. Yep, and I could just do this if I wanted, you know, to put my EQ there. It just felt like it was quicker. Okay, great. So now let's go back here. You'll see BG. There's some separation. There's the BGs, the ABGs, and the CBGs. And then up here is just the BG bus there. Okay, so because I want to make sure, we're going to go like this, hit our signal generator. Okay, and did we hit there's our C, and is it going out to our BG bus? You better believe it is. But what about our reverb? Let's go here. Let's hit this. And is that hitting our reverb? It is hitting our BG verb, and it's also going to, yep, our main one, which is exactly what we want to happen. Okay, perfect. All right, great. So now, oops, it's playing. Now this is kind of a good start. You know, again, this is going to get you close, right? This is going to get you thinking, and hopefully by doing this together, you have, you know, got the feeling of what it feels like to create this. Friend, mix templates are something that help us get started much quicker when we're starting projects, so that we don't have to do this, you know. And you know what you would do is, after you build your perfect template, however you like, because again, friend, it can be so deep. This is just scratching the basic beginning surfaces. You want to go ahead and create a template. You could save it as a template and go ahead and call it whatever you want and tell it where to save. And then you can keep updating it as you want, you know, to create the PTX file. So other than that, you know, I know, like I said, there's a lot that you can get into doing, you know, as far as different kind of plugins, different sets of verbs. Like this is a start, but it's nowhere near as deep as my original, or rather my other templates. Like I have a separate dialogue music template and a separate effects template, because usually I do 2-person mixing. I do have to do, when I do a film by myself, I will condense that together. But the last thing I wanted to show you was basically how we create the stems, because we want to, this is all, if we're doing this on a stereo, you know, on a laptop or within our own computer, we have to, you know, record internally. So I'm going to go ahead and create a, let's see, a dialogue stem, an effects stem, and a background, and a music stem. So we're going to go ahead and create 4. Let me see, music, dialogue, effects. Let's just do 3. And then an overall print master, so 4. Okay, 4 stereo. All right, so we're going to call this DX stem record. Let's just do it like that, all right? MX stem record. Let's go FX stem record. And then PM, this stands for print master, stem record. Print master is basically going to be the everything combined, okay? And so I like to definitely make these, you know, some kind of red. Okay, and so let's go ahead and get to our other window here. Now we have to create some buses because we did not create those. Actually, we did create those, right? Let's go ahead and check in our I/O. We always go back here. Stem. What did we create? Dialogue stem, music stem, effect stem, and we did not create the print master stem. So PM, we'll call PM stem. Hit OK. All right. So since we did create those earlier, we'll hit OK. And in the dialogue here, well, we don't want, again, we don't have to have, for the sake of starting, I don't know where your inputs are going to start, but we do want this to have an input, okay? Not like the other ones we got rid of. So this is going to be our DX stem, okay? So DX stem here. There we go. And our music input's going to be our MX stem, okay? Our effects, oh, what happened here? Oh, I guess I botched this one. Let's move the effects stem here. Oops, what happened? There we go. And this is going to be our PM stem, print master stem. Rename that, not audio 3. Okay, so we got dialogue here. We have music. Now let's go. Let's put our effects. Go to our effects bus and call this effects stem. Beep, 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 beep. Where can I see you? Stem. There it is. Effects stem. You caught it much quicker than I did. And that's going to go to our print master. Oh, we'll do that in a second. And then this is going to be our print master stem in. That's what we need to do. We need to call this our print master. Input's going to be print master, and then the output's going to be whatever our output is. Okay, so let's go back to our dialogue. So dialogue stem is going to go to our print master. Okay, print master. The music is going to go to the print master. The effects are going to go to the print master. Okay, and then the print master is probably what we're going to monitor when we're printing. Okay, so we need to go ahead and go to I/O, our output here, and whatever your output is. So I just happen to have mix out right here. Let me hit OK. Let's see if that comes up for us here. So our print master here, the last one, on the output, we want to have, oh, we don't have an output, so let's go ahead. Let's go like this. I/O, let's go. Sometimes you have to delete them all. Yeah, this is old right here. Hit new. I'm just going to go stereo, and we're going to go mix. Oops. Mix out. Okay, that's like that. And then monitor path, we'll do that. Hit OK. And so now on our print master output, we can have this output go like that. Okay, and now we have this hopefully set up right. Let's go ahead and test this. So if you made it this far, right? Congratulations, by the way, because this is a long video, so thank you for hanging in there. But I hope you did get some, help or got something out of this. If you did, make sure you're letting me know in the comments or letting me know by giving it a thumbs up. But let's make sure that all the proper signal flow is going right to the print tracks to make sure that this is in fact everything we need to be. So I'm going to go ahead just for the sake of this. I'm going to mute that. The output of the print master. Now, it's very important when we have our stems to make sure that we are on input. When we're on input, that's the only way we're going to be getting the signal in from our respective stems. So I'm going to go ahead and just put signal now, like I've been doing before, to make sure we are actually hitting our respective stems. So I'm going to go to the dialogue, and I'm going to go ahead and put a, oh, I see what happened here. Look at that. I wrapped around here. That needs to be dialogue 1. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put signal here, and we'll just change it up we'll go ahead and put pink noise. There we go. So this should be hitting our dialogue stem. Let's take a look. And it is. Do you see that right there? But if I don't have it on input, it is not going to record. Do you see that? Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and, since we know that is going, I'll bypass that. Let's go to our music. Our music, we'll put a test signal here. All right. And let's see if that is hitting our recorder, our stem. It is. And of course, only if it's on input. If it's not hitting that. So I am happy, and you should be happy too. So let's go ahead and bypass that signal. And let's go ahead and go to our effects. Our effects should be getting to the, scroll over. There we go, to our effects stem, as you see. And each one of them are also hitting the print master, the combination, because the print master is going to be the combination of all our elements that are being passed through the respective buses. Okay, so let's deactivate that. There we go. And of course, the backgrounds, we know we're going to, oh, that's the thing. We didn't have a BG stem. We messed up. So this is why we're doing this. This is so good, friend. This is me. This is a little checks and balances. So we do have to create a BG stem. So go ahead and, again, I'm to do that, Shift Command N to create my new tracks. It's my shortcut. I need a stereo track. I'm going to call this BG stem. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so now let's see if I've already created that. So if I go bus, did I have a BG stem? BG stem right there. Silly, silly. I had it there, but did not put it there. And now the output is going to go to the print master as well. We want to make sure we're on input. So now let's go ahead and test that. Let's go back to our BGs. I'm so glad we did that. Let's activate our signal and let's go check it out. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. We want to see that signal going to the BG stem and then also feeding the print master. Okay, so we're going to bypass. Where's our BGs? Okay, there we go. Boom. All right. So now let's see. We want to go ahead and test this. Now, one thing you probably want to do is you'll probably want to have, since we do have limiters on our buses, we don't want to affect our stems at all. So that's the one thing you want to make sure we do, is that we do not put any plugins on our stem recorders so that it doesn't introduce any kind of latency or any kind of processing, because then they won't really be our true stems, right? Where they would have been affected. Okay, so let us go ahead and test this. Okay, and we're going to test this by putting signal on all of the tracks and hitting record. Okay, we're going to do this real time together. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this works. So we'll go to our BG. Where's our BG one? Our BG one. There we go. Let's go to our effects. Let's go to our music. Let's go to our dialogue, and we should have 3 stems lighting up, which we do, and a print master. Now I'm going to arm these. Okay, we have to arm these in order for us to actually record. And so as a test, I'm going to go ahead and hit record here, and you'll see. Let's make sure we're in. All right, there we go. We're in Quick Punch. So if I just lit that up and hit play, right, we should be seeing signal. All right, I'm going to stop. There we go. We have signal on all of our tracks, if you see that, okay? And this one didn't turn red because I didn't have it red. Oh, there we go. There's red. So you'll see that we have signal in every single one. So our dialogue should be, and hopefully this is not blaring right now. That'd be so embarrassing. So going back to our records here, so you'll see that we have now recorded these individual stems. So anything that is cut in our dialogue that is being mixed and sent through our buses is going to our dialogue stem and being recorded separately and independently from our music, from our effects, and from our backgrounds. And they're all being brought together and combined in our print master here. You can even see that the WAV files look a little bit different, right? And so now we have confirmation that it works, that our stems have been set up. We've gone through the whole process. This was a lengthy process, so thank you for hanging in there. But, templates, like I was saying before, just help us start quicker, because if we had to, imagine, friend, if we had to do this every single time we started a new project, like, holy moly, like, that's a lot of time. When I do a new season of a new episode, or rather a new episode of a new season, no, reverse that. When I do a new season, I always make sure to spend time to create a template specifically for that show. There's going to be a ton of similarities because of the workflow that I'm already used to, but definitely some tweaks. I do not start any project without tweaking that template, because now I can use that, and when I come to mix week after week, my mix tech can set it up for me, and he goes much quicker. He can just import all the elements from our dialogue editors, our music editors, our effects editors, and our Foley teams, whatnot, and it just makes everything go much quicker, especially when you're dealing with a lot of elements. But I hope this has been helpful, seeing the signal flow, seeing how everything goes. We made mistakes as we went along, but I'm actually really glad I made some mistakes so that we can all grow together and know what missteps could happen and how we can easily correct those. And friend, again, this is just the bare minimum. It goes so deep, and we're not even talking like, different kinds of compressors or de-essers or different things like that. But this is a very simple approach to your mix templates and how you can create one for yourself. Now, I told you if you made it all the way to the end of this video that I would have a gift for you, and I do have exactly that. So I want to gift you my mix template, okay? All you have to do is go to masteringpostproductionsound.com/templates. If you go there, I'll give you all the information how you can download this template for yourself, and possibly my dialogue template as well. If I get my act together, you'll have everything there. But again, thank you so much for taking time to walk through with me. Hopefully this was helpful to somebody. If it was, please, my friend, let me know in the comments. Now, again, like I said, we went through a lot here. So let me know if there was any part that was confusing. I know I went back and forth a couple times, but I'm glad I did, so that you can kind of see the missteps that may be there for you as well, so you know how to correct them in the future. And I'll go ahead and also leave the actual template we created together here on the channel. I'll leave that there too, so that you can download and customize and kind of see what we did together. So, friend, thank you again for being here. If you're new, consider subscribing. Everyone, I see everyone there. I see all your comments. I see every subscriber matters to me. So thank you. I really appreciate the support. And I'll go ahead and see you in either one of these other videos here on the side or in next week's video.